In July of 2019, an Indian couple went to Doha to celebrate their second anniversary, but soon landed up in jail, being sentenced for 10 years. This was a trap set by a relative, a close relative. But this is a tale of a father and an Indian agency who stepped in to ensure the release of this couple. Let's find out from the man who headed this probe, only on Nerves and Veins. Hello, you beautiful people. This is Achla. Welcome to Nerves and Veins. So, this is my first segment of Person of the Moment. So, today we have this person, Mr. KPS Malhotra, who headed the case of two young people who were caught in Doha and how he released, how he helped these people to come back to their own country after this big fight. Let's find out. Let's join him in this session, Mr. KPS Malhotra. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you for this particular case wherein these two people who went to Doha to Qatar in 2019 and 2 days back they came back home. So I just want to start with the question: how did you get the lead of this case? How were you informed about it?
Look, this happened in this couple went to Qatar in July 2019.
Okay.
So the trip was sponsored by one of their relative for Qatar. Once they went there, they were caught in possession of 4.1 kg of hashish, that is a contraband, and they were sentenced to 10 years of rigorous imprisonment there. So the parents of the both of the parents of the couple, the girls and the boys' parents, they approached various forums. They approached Maharashtra Police. They approached PMO. They approached NCB Mumbai Zone also. So they came to. So matter came to NCB headquarters, that is our operation unit, through PMO. So
Okay.
when we were going through that complaint, we could find out that yes, there is some sort of a. We could sense that there's a possibility that they might be victims of this whole conspiracy. And on the basis of that, we started working on this information. That's how the information reached us. So now the parents had their version that their kids are innocent. They supported their version with the help of some of the evidences they had, suppose a recording or anything. But those evidences were a part of an inquiry part. Submitting the same to the Qatar court, because earlier they got one complaint even registered at Nagpada police station, and those evidences they got both those the evidence of that case submitted to Qatar authorities. But in the High Court, those evidences were not taken into cognizance, and their sentence given by the trial court, that was 10 years, was upheld by the High Court also. So the same sentence continued. So evidences. Now, your first question was how we came to know about this.
Yes.
The initial information came through a complaint to us in the form of a complaint. Uniba's father was a complainant in this matter.
Okay. So I got to know that Miss Oniba's father played a key role in getting this case investigated because they were held captive in Qatar, right? And they maybe did not have means to reach out to people, maybe to NCB, so that they could be supported. Wherein the father was there to step in and reach out for help. So he was the
Yeah, no
key
doubt.
person.
Because if
Yes.
in case a person is a victim of circumstances or a conspiracy, he has all rights to approach forums. He has all rights to approach various organizations where he can seek help. So his father was the person who had written to various agencies, and he has one such complaint ended at NCB through PMO, and we worked on that complaint.
Okay, and I also want to get this understanding that were there any hurdles that you had to face because this was not a national case. This was the case which kind of started in some other country in Qatar, right? So were there any
So,
hurdles that you had to sort out for this case?
so now I'll explain how it all happened and what was the procedure adopted by NCB. What I told earlier, that when this complaint came to us, they also gave this complaint to Mumbai police also.
Okay.
So on the basis of the complaint, any organization can do an inquiry and collect the evidences or investigation. So the same was done by Mumbai police also. But when you have two versions, one version is that they have been caught with the contraband in Qatar. The other version
Yes.
is they are innocent.
Yes.
So those two versions, when will be presented in the court, will not have any impact on the court because the other version is bigger, that they are arrested with the contraband.
Yes.
So other version is the Indian investigation, which won't be accepted there. So our approach was different in this case. What we did was we analyzed the network behind this syndicate. Who sent them? Are they actively involved somewhere else? So working on that. Now look, this case belongs to Qatar and Mumbai. People are the victims are of Mumbai and they were arrested in Qatar.
Okay.
So now our intelligence generation led us for an operation at Chandigarh. So now it's third place. So when we reached Chandigarh, we arrested two people out of Mumbai who went to Chandigarh to collect the contraband. Two of the source of supply of that contraband were arrested in Chandigarh. And the investigation, because that was a proper investigation based on a seizure. Investigation based on somebody's complaint vis-a-vis investigation based on a seizure are different. So when the investigation based on seizure, the seizure in itself speaks that yes, there is a seizure, this seizure has some origin from somewhere. So seizure has the potential to be investigated. Inquiry or complaints have a limited option for investigation. The versions, the statements have limited capabilities to be explained, to be proven in the court of law. Whereas seizures, they are syndicates, further arrests. So in this case, we arrested 6 individuals. And the corroborative evidences, the technical evidences were collected, the statements were recorded, and those evidences were presented in the Qatar court through Ministry of External Affairs, that is our embassy in Qatar, and that is what was a breakthrough. The evidences of an investigation authenticated by a court, on the basis of which 6 people are already arrested in India, that has more value rather than parents' version.
Yes.
Or their version that they are innocent. Their version that they are innocent was already provided to the Qatar court before NCB came into picture. They started doing that we have this evidence, we have. So that is where the hurdle was, how to create the sanctity of the evidence we collected in India and in Qatar's in the court of Qatar. So they were sentenced for 10 years with 300,000 riyal fine. So that means that they are already convicted. First is that there has to be an appeal, which if accepted, there will be that appeal will go back to some court. Those evidences will be, so the appeal court should first authenticate and give a go-ahead signal that yes, the evidences collected by Indian authorities are correct, and we feel that this case is fit for reopening. So that was first hurdle which we faced, that we had to get that case reopened, because they were now the appeal court had to accept the appeal. So the appeal court accepted the appeal. The case went back to the trial court. So in the trial court, the same evidence is collected in India with respect to the seizures, with respect to the syndicate, with respect to the technical evidences. So that was supplied to the Qatar court, and that is how they were further acquitted out of this offense.
Okay, great. So, were there any hurdles that you had to face because or was there any cooperation that was given from the team in Doha, in Qatar, basically? So, were they cooperative about it, or were there some problems, hurdles that you had to face even in that case?
Look, for that, I'll say that this case was one of a kind. First, as in NCB's history, this is the first case. Even as per our sources, if somebody has been convicted and then acquitted on the basis of investigation conducted in India in the drugs case, we have not found any such parallel case. So it was somewhere or the first prototype case.
Okay.
Hurdles, I'll not label it hurdles. It is, yes, challenges.
Yeah.
So any collection of evidence is a challenge. Then to burst a syndicate is a challenge. In case the syndicate wouldn't have been busted, Nizam Kara would have been arrested in a different case in which he supplements and complements the version of Oniba and Sharif Qureshi. Then we are not in a position to prove that they are innocent.
Correct.
So it was a challenging case, one of the most challenging case, because the court in Qatar was to be apprised about the facts, and our investigation had to be of that level that they would have accepted our evidences. But on the contrary, I'll say that as far as the cooperation from Indian embassy in Qatar, it was exemplary, beyond expectation. The type of that, because we all belong to the same organization, we belong to Indian government.
True.
So the coordination between the Indian agencies was really spectacular in getting this case through to the logical conclusion. Yes, Qatar agencies, I'll say, they also were in favor of our evidences, were took cognizance of our evidences, and for that I'll credit the credit goes to Indian embassy in Qatar. How they managed to present the evidences in Qatar. There was a lot of communication between Indian embassy in Qatar and NCB headquarters. And it is worthy to mention here that even Ambassador Qatar, Indian ambassador in Qatar, that sir came to India for this case, especially to meet the DG of NCB, that Rakesh Asthana sir, and they had a coordination meeting on this case. So if it has been pulled through, it has been pulled through on the basis of the coordination, on the basis of how these agencies came together to work together.
Okay. So this means you had full cooperation from the embassy in Qatar as well, wherein you
Yes,
were
sir.
supported, given full
Absolutely.
support about the same. Okay. So
Yes.
I want you to throw some light on how you found out about Miss Tabassum, that she is involved in some case, like she did some drug trafficking as well. So how did you find the link of that?
That is intelligence based operation. So going into
Okay. Okay.
that is where we have to say that that was a credible information which we got. But
Okay.
that's how the agencies have to work. That particular information, extracting the workable information out of a piece of paper is one I'll say a piece of art which cannot be discussed like this. But yes, that was a good effort by the team.
Okay.
The NCB team did some good effort in collecting the credible information about the operation.
Okay, great. So now, last but not the least question, I just want to know, because as you said, this is the prototype. This is the first case that had happened of such kind, right? So for
Yes.
such cases not to happen again in future, do you suggest something to the people? Because this the case that I was what information I was given was that this was a relative, basically some known person who gave that contraband. Right. So is there
Yes.
some suggestions that you would want to give for people about the
Look,
same scenario not to
when
be repeated?
the, in the drug trafficking parlance, these type of people are known as mules,
Okay.
because somebody gives their contraband to such people that okay, you go. Sometimes they know, sometimes they don't know. But once you are found in a conscious possession of the contraband in some foreign country, they will not buy your theory. So one has to be very conscious about what one is carrying somebody's stuff, carrying somebody's luggage without checking. And when we disembark from the plane, we fill our boarding passes. We tell these are our luggage, and there's a declaration that yes, this luggage belongs to me. So
Yes.
somewhere or the other, in case something comes, some contraband is recovered, then there is no point we can disprove, we can or prove our innocence. So most important fact is that in case somebody is traveling, one should not be lured by any such. Now, say allurement for cheating, says this offense, somewhere or the other somebody is a gainer. So
Correct.
one becomes a victim out of, in this case, being a relative. Yes, it was trust broken by the closest relative. But yes, one has to learn from this. One, trust might be broken, but the consequences are to be faced by the person who lands up in a jail. So one
Correct.
has to be very conscious about what one is carrying, whose luggage is the one with the person, and along with that, the safe custody of everybody's luggage should be well maintained, and it should be well taken care of. And anybody offering anything for free comes with a problem. Nothing comes
Correct.
free in the world.
Correct.
One has to learn that principle that say when we get entangled in a insurance fraud and any such fraud, we are offered something. So that
Correct.
particular offer is to induce us, to lure us. So one has to stay away from these things. And but this was something very grave, because inducement came from the relative. The bag, carrying of bag, I'll say one has to, because in drug offense one has to be in a conscious possession.
Correct.
So in case you are not found in possession, somebody might conspire against you, but you will not be falling into trap. Carrying something is a big trap.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mr. Malhotra, for your time. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining in and answering all the questions that I had for this segment. Thank you so much once again.
Okay, take care. Ansh. Take care.
Goodbye.